a Super Bowl than he is to complete a pass. He has made the Super Bowl 71.4% of the times that he has started at quarterback. That's 5 out of 7. He completes a pass at 66% rate. That's his completion percentage over the past 7 years. That stat in itself, it shows you, too, because I was having this conversation at the wedding yesterday in Weston to my good buddies, having a conversation, and it was about, like, whether or not this is the start of more to come, or is the Chiefs' aura and their reign over the NFL, like, are we on the back end of it? And I'm like, if you think about it, every single time Mahomes has started a season, he's ended it in the AFC title game or in the Super Bowl, and this is his 5th made Super Bowl. The dude hasn't hit 30 years old yet. He has like a second prime still coming. Like, we might be in the midst of a run that is even more epic than we're even giving it credit for right now. Like, the three-peat is one thing, but what if this guy just keeps on, like, at this pace? What if he just keeps going? Not winning Super Bowls every year, but pretty much being there at the end of the season. That would be ridiculous.
Yeah, with the officiating in the NFL protecting the quarterback more as we go along year after year after year, there's more reason that Patrick Mahomes will stay healthy and at the best version of himself for longer than quarterbacks before him. So, I mean, if he can pass the age test, Patrick Mahomes, and doesn't deteriorate at a rapid pace, there's no signs of him doing that yet, don't get me wrong, but if he can pass that test, the numbers will get more and more ridiculous. It's almost like seeing the Wilt Chamberlain numbers when he played in the NBA. It's like, wait, who's that guy?
Yeah.
Wait, is the different rules for him? Maybe there are. Is this a different situation? Did half the league go on strike? What happened in the NFL between 2018 and 2035? Because something's ain't right here.
So we can agree at the very least, especially if we saw the closest comp to Patrick Mahomes would have to be like Aaron Rodgers when it comes to like athleticism. I'd say Mahomes is a better athlete than Rodgers, but when it comes to the way they utilize it, where it's more so escapability behind the line of scrimmage and then also improvising, that's like the best one of one, right?
That's the style of quarterback he is.
So Rodgers was pretty much in his prime or competing at the top of his game until he was, 38, 39, right? He didn't start falling off until the Achilles injury, and that happened at 39 or 40 years old with the Jets 2 years ago. So if we can take that template and say Patrick Mahomes will play at least the next 10 years at the top of his game as an MVP-level quarterback, imagine this. Let's just count this Super Bowl as a Chiefs win. So the Chiefs would now have won 4 Super Bowls out of the last 6 years, and Mahomes would have 4 rings and a three-peat. If he keeps going at this rate where he makes a Super Bowl 70% of the time, that means that he would make 7 of the next 10 Super Bowls. How about this? For argument's sake, because obviously maybe there's some regression there. Maybe Josh Allen, Lamar, some people make up for some of that ground. Let's just say he makes half of the next 10 Super Bowls. It's fair.
Yeah.
That would mean a guy would have 10 Super Bowl appearances. And if you look at the other side of the NFL in the NFC, if he has 5 more Super Bowl appearances against NFC teams, like the Eagles, like the Niners, like the Packers, like maybe the Commanders coming forward, he's likely going to be favored to win most of those games. And who the hell is picking against Mahomes? Like, his legacy, his career, what it can be, the resume at the end of the day, 7's not out of reach at all.
No, I think that would be on par. It would be on pace.
I feel like 7 would be like, if you were to project out how many Super Bowls does Patrick Mahomes win, what number would you actually pick today?
That 7 would be the number because it's winning on Sunday. I think that he will win on Sunday, which would give him 4.
Yeah. And
then winning 3 of the next 5 he plays in.
That's very fair.
That's 7. That kind of, and it's crazy that we're having these conversations. Imagine talking about anybody in any sport doing that in 2016 that wasn't named Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Like, this is otherworldly. This is extraterrestrial, and it's just happening before our eyes.
It's happening before our eyes, and honestly, that's why I wish that people could be more like myself, and I'm a fan of the Chiefs, but even if I wasn't, you have to at a certain point stop and appreciate greatness.
It's a LeBron thing. Like,
it's a LeBron thing.
You're not a Lakers fan. You never were a Cavs fan. Never.
Yes. But he did come to my Miami Heat, though.
Right,
but I supported LeBron before he got to the Heat. I'm one that I always appreciate greatness. I always cheer for history to happen. When the legends of the game are making it known that they are actually better than the rest, I have a respect for that. I hated Brady for the first 3 Super Bowls or so, But after that, when he started also performing well, winning MVPs and winning more, I said, well, you know what? I'm not going to knock the player. You know what I'm saying? He's doing it. He's the one that keeps on. Stop him then. It's funny because why is your anger or your ire or your hate directed towards the team that's winning? Why is it not against the teams that keep letting them win? If you really hate the Chiefs, you should hate the Bills even more. They keep on letting them do it.
Yeah, the anger might be the wrong word. I think the word that more accurately describes America's fatigue with the Chiefs is, well, the word fatigue and boredom. Like, we did this already, and we did this again,
nothing boring
and we
about
did this
the Chiefs
again.
style of play, though. That's the thing. That's the only problem I have with that. It's kind of like the Warriors dynasty. I appreciated the Warriors dynasty from afar because it was actually fun to watch. It was great to watch Steph Curry run around like a maniac with the ball or without the ball and heave up threes from 40 feet. Like, it was fun to see the two-man game he had with Draymond Green, with him as the secondary ball handler and decision maker, and the way in which that they literally changed the dynamics of how you play basketball. That was thrilling to watch. It's fun watching certain people be great. It's not like this style of play is boring. I would argue, and this is why when we talked about this before, Evan Cohen, who is if anybody loves and supports the Patriots way, it's that guy. I said that the Patriots run was a little more boring. It kind of was. It kind of was. Like, you weren't getting a lot out of those guys but winning and cheating. At least with the Chiefs, they're giving you a little bit of eye candy to go along with it. Like, I don't understand why all the hate is there.
But you can watch Top Gun 7 times in a row, and by watch number 3, you're like, all right, I've seen enough. This might be the best action movie of all time, but I really don't want to watch this movie again.
Yeah.
People don't want to watch this Chiefs movie again and again and again.
But you know what we've never seen is a three-peat. What we've never seen in the history of the NFL is a team win 3 Super Bowls in a row. So I understand the fatigue, and let's just say the Chiefs do complete the three-peat. History is made, and we move forward. I understand you wouldn't want to support them in going out and winning a 4th one. But what I will say is at least appreciate the greatness when it's right here before you. You only get to live so many years in your life, and you're in the midst of the same time that Mahomes is ripping it up on the football field. Enjoy it.
But it all loops back to my point as to making the Super Bowl is the bigger deal than winning the Super Bowl, because we're already getting it. We have to watch this movie. Whether or not the Chiefs win or lose, who cares? You don't got to watch the parade.
Yeah.
Right? You don't got to watch the Today Show when the quarterback's on TV and all that, when they join Jimmy Fallon. Like, you don't got to watch the post-celebration of the Super Bowl winner if you don't want to. But there is no negotiation for football fans to watch the Super Bowl. You have to. You have to watch the Chiefs. That's why I think that making the Super Bowl is the nail in the coffin, not winning it.
Well, winning it is something the Chiefs have become accustomed to doing. And the last time the Eagles and the Chiefs did play 2 years ago in the Super Bowl, this is one of the key things I want to point out here and why I believe, just like Zaslow was saying, the Chiefs only giving 1 point. That feels like stolen money. One of the things I want to point out here, this comes from a tweet from Bleacher Report Gridiron, is the talent around Mahomes right now. When the Chiefs beat the Eagles two years ago in that Super Bowl 57, remember who the last play was, the pivotal play where it was a holding call and it would have been a touchdown if he wasn't holding? You remember who that wide receiver was?
No.
Juju Smith-Schuster. Juju Smith-Schuster is the only actual actively utilized receiver that is still in this wide receiver room for the Chiefs now 2 years separated from that Super Bowl, and he left and came back. So from Super Bowl 57, it was Juju, Justin Watson, Kadarius Toney, Sky Moore, and Marquez Valdez-Scantling. That was the team that Mahomes used to score, 38 points and the win in the biggest game against that Eagles team that had a pretty good defense. This year, this time around, they have the man who has run the fastest 40 in the history of the NFL draft, and Xavier Worthy, who just led the Chiefs in receiving in the AFC Championship game. The return of Juju Smith-Schuster, who had some big catches just a couple of weeks ago as well. And then you got Hollywood Brown, who has looked great. I know you told me to be fearful of the drops, but he's been wide, stinking open on some of those routes that have been drawn up, and he didn't drop the ball.
Yeah, they got him all out of his system in Baltimore. That's really it.
We appreciate that, Marquise. You also have DeAndre Hopkins, who I'm predicting to have a really big breakout game. He's a guy that can win at every level still, has some of the strongest hands in the league, and he also has something to prove because he's pissed He's pissed with the way he's been treated over the past 4 or 5 years. He's also thankful the Titans let him walk out the door. Those are the guys